Okay. So, right. So yesterday we have discussed regarding research also. Uh, a little bit discussion have taken place yesterday regarding research. So research is a systematic inquiry. Okay, systematic about inquiry about explain or predicted a phenomenon. Right. So here to for a research here, sir, research is nothing but search for new knowledge, search for a new knowledge and a practical solution. Search for a new knowledge as well as a for a practical solution here. Practical solution is nothing but here what actually happening in the outside the market or in the society or any organization. Okay, so here for that what we have to do? We have to do a small research. Already we have discussed research is nothing but unlimited area. A search is limited area only. Why? Because already one thing is invented. Again, we are working on it to produce for a new thing. That is called as research. Always research says that search for new knowledge. Search for new knowledge here. So here the systematic inquiry or systematic investigation into and study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. See what conclusions are drawn previously. The same conclusions are drawn never drawn for the second time, but the new conclusions will be drawn in the second time. So here research is an virginal and systematic investigation. See, research is a virginal as well as a systematic investigation undertaken to increase existing knowledge. See, existing knowledge means already a thing is there. We are going to investigate in deeply investigation will be done and it will be understanding of unknown what the things are we don't know or unknown. So we are going to establish facts and principle. Okay. So here the word research perhaps originates from the old French word rechercher that means search again, again and again. We are going to do a search, searching for a new thing. What we are intending, that information will be searched again and again. That is called as research. And here in practice, the term research refers to a scientific process of generating an unexplored horizon of knowledge, aiming at discovering or establishing facts, solving a problem, reaching a decision. Keeping the above points in view, we arrive the following definitions here. So these are the definitions. Research is the scientific approach of answering a research question, solving a research problem, or generating new knowledge through a systematic and orderly collection organization and analysis of data with the ultimate goal of making the findings of research useful in decision making. So here you observe carefully here, research is a scientific. Scientific means here involvement of science as well as involvement of here scientific approach and answering to a research question. Already a question is framed. According to that question, we are going to do research here. Okay, according to that question, we are going to do our activity to find out the new conclusions or new findings, or sometimes what happens here, solving a research problem or generating new knowledge. Generating new knowledge is nothing but already knowledge is there, but again we are doing with the help of research, finding a new knowledge through a systematic and orderly collection. Okay, through a systematic and orderly collection. Already some data is collected, but in a systematic manner, we are arranged in a systematic manner, step by step. Okay, step by step, we are going to arrange everything. Then or sometimes we are also collecting in orderly manner. Okay, so in an organization we go for a doing analysis with the ultimate goal of making the findings of research useful in decision making. So in organization point of view, we want to take sometimes some bold decisions. To take these bold decisions, we require some experience. The past experience will be helping us. Why? Because in the past, the same situation is arised, then what we done. So we are going to do a small research again here. So when do we call a research scientific? Okay, so you see these points here. It is based on empirical and measurable evidences subject to specific principles of reasoning. So here empirical, what is the meaning of empirical? Anybody? Empirical means what? Empirical. What is empirical? What is the meaning of empirical? Yes, nobody is answering. Please answer my question. Empirical means what? Empirical. Okay. Empirical is nothing but here on real time what we are experiencing. Empirical data means the raw data, the fair data, raw data as well as fair data and measurable evidence subject to specific principles of reasoning. It consists of systematic observations, measurements, and experimentation. So here it consists of systematic observation. Step by step, the observation will be done and it will be measured, and after measuring then experiment will be conducted. So it relies on the application of scientific method and harnessing of curiosity. It provides us scientific information and theories for the explanation of nature. It ensures adequate analysis of data employing rigorous statistical techniques here. Okay, rigorous statistical techniques. So all these statistical techniques we are going to see in our subject here. So the definition of research, once again, we will see research is defined as a creation of new knowledge or the use of existing knowledge in a new and creative way so as to generate new concepts, methodologies, and understandings. This definition of research encompasses pure and strategic basic research, applied research, and experimental development. Okay, see here, research is defined as a creation of new knowledge, knowledge or the use of existing knowledge in a new and creative way. So we are going to create a new knowledge or already existing knowledge is there, but we are explaining in a creative manner. The presentation will be there in a creative manner. It will be understandable for the peer group of holders or the stakeholders in a and so as to generate new concepts. Simply we need to generate new concepts. We are going to present in a new manner here. And the definition of research encompasses pure and strategic basic research, applied research, and experimental development. Okay, so in here, the research in common parlance refers to a search for knowledge. Already knowledge is there, but the curiosity of a human being creates, okay, and encourages him to create new one, to find out new one. Okay, so here we required a curiosity. Then next over here, once see once wait a minute. One can also define research as a scientific and systematic search for pertinent information on a specific topic. In fact, research is an art of scientific investigation. The Advanced Learner Dictionary of Current English lays down the meaning of research as a careful a careful investigation or inquiry, especially through search for new facts in any branch of knowledge. Okay, in any branch of knowledge means any subject, a careful investigation or inquiry will be done for a search for new facts in any branch of knowledge. Okay, then Redman and Mori defines research as a systematized efforts to gain new knowledge. See, systematically, we are doing a research for the sake of finding out or gain a new knowledge. Then some people consider, see, some people means some other personalities, researchers. Okay, they consider research as a movement from the known to unknown. It is actually a voyage of discovery. Voyage means a ship is traveling for the sake of discovering new thing. In the same manner, research is also called as a voyage of discovery. We also possess the vital instinct or iniquitous for when the unknown confront us. We wonder and makes probe and attain full and fuller understanding of unknown things here. So number of definitions are there. So here, according to Clifford and Woody, research comprises defining and redefining problem. See, defining the problem sometimes and redefining the problem also, as well as formulating hypotheses or suggested solutions. Okay, collecting, organizing and evaluating data, making deductions and reaching conclusions, and at last carefully testing the conclusion to determine whether they fit the formulating hypothesis. So in virgin, the research in an original contribution to the existing stock of knowledge, making for its advancement. See, already existing stock of knowledge is available. Okay, already the existing stock of knowledge is available. But what we are doing, the existing stock of knowledge will be simply we are making a advancement. Okay, we are making a advancement means we are uh, already existing stock of knowledge is there. The available knowledge, what we are doing, we are using in a appropriate manner with a latest application of latest technology, as well as and with the application of latest tools and techniques, and which should be understandable to the students as well as the researcher as well as the common man. And it is also the pursuit of truth with the help of study, observation, comparison, and experiment. In short, the search for knowledge through objective. So before we are going to do research, first of all, what we have to do, we have to create or we have to define our basic objective, why we are doing the research. According to our research, what we are going to see, what is our objective. Objective should be defined earlier only. Based on our objective, according to our objective, we have to work in a systematic method or systematic manner of finding solution to the problem is research. The systematic approach concerning generalization and the formulation of a theory is also research. As such, the term research refers to the systematic method consisting of initiating the problem, formulating a hypothesis, collecting the facts or data, analyzing the facts, and reaching certain conclusions, either in the form of solutions towards the concerned problem or in certain generalization for some theoretical formulation. Okay, so here some theoretical formulation is also important. Theoretical formulation is nothing but before we are going to start our research, the theoretical concept will be developed. Based on the theoretical concept, the practical oriented will be generated. So for a research, what are the characteristics are required? So these are the few characteristics for required for a researcher or a research. What sometimes we are going to do do the research. So before we are going to do research, these characteristics are there or not. We have to check the characteristics here. Okay. So you see one by one here. Okay, right. So keep this in mind that research in any field of inquiry is undertaken to provide information to support decision making in its respective area. We summarize some desirable characteristics of research. They are here. Number one, research is directed towards a solution of a problem. So sometimes, see, directed research is directing the us to solve what is the problem. Okay, research is directed towards the solution of a problem. The research should focus on priority problem. So what the priority is there? Okay, the priority basis, the research will be conducted. For example, in the year 2019, the whole world suffered from COVID-19. So that is the priority problem. On that priority problem, some laboratories, scientists or doctors, they have struggled a lot for creating or for inventing the antidote for COVID coronavirus. That is one of the basic example I want to say regarding the second one. That is the second characteristics. The research should focus on priority basis. Then next over here, the research should be systematic. See, systematic means the research should carry a step-by-step process. Everything will be done in a proper and formal manner. It emphasizes that a researcher should employ a structured procedure. A structured procedure means before you are going to ask some questions, what actually you are expecting from the same respondents. First of all, you should have a clear structure procedure, and you should require you good clarity. Okay, clarity is required for you. The next one, the research should be logical. See, the research should be conducted in a logical manner without manipulating ideas logically. Don't manipulate. Why? Because manipulation takes place to a wrong solution, a wrong results here. Already the research is conducted. Some people what they will do, they manipulate the existing research only. So please don't do in that way. The characteristics of a research is that without manipulating ideas logically, the scientific researcher cannot make much progress in any investigation. Okay, the scientific research cannot make much progress in any investigation. So to get more progress, what you have to do? Don't manipulate your ideas. Don't manipulate your ideas logically. You do on your own basis, on real grounds. Take the help of the previous researchers. Okay, just it helps you like a guiding only, but don't consider that that is the final. So here the research should be reductive. This means that the findings of one researcher should be made available to the other researchers to prevent them from repeating the same research. See, already the research is conducted. So don't repeat the same. So do a new one and okay, do new research, prevent them from the repeating the same research. So here it leads to getting the new solutions, the innovative ideas or innovative thoughts. The research should be replicable. These assets that are that should be a scope to confirm the findings of previous research in a new environment and different settings with a new group of subjects are at a different point of time. The next over here, the research should be generative. This is one of the valuable characteristics of research because answering one question leads to generating many other new questions. Okay, when one problem is there, so we are focusing on solving that problem. But in meanwhile, before you are going to find out the answers, so you have to think. Okay, what answers we are giving or what solutions we are giving that leads to generating many other new questions here. Okay, the research should be action oriented. In other words, it should be aimed at reaching a solution leading to the implementation of its findings. The research should follow an integrated multidisciplinary approach. That is, a research approach from more than one discipline are needed. Okay, multidisciplinary means not only the MCOM. Okay, research is there in all the discipline, all the subjects. Okay, that's why research is a common paper. It will carry in all disciplines. All disciplines means all the subjects. Wherever the subject is there, there should be a research will be conducted. Then the 10th point is here. The research should be participatory, involving all parties concerned from policymaker down to community member at all stages of the study. The research must be relatively simple, timely, and time bound, employing a comparatively simple design. The research must be as much cost effective as possible. The results of the research should be presented in formats most useful for administrators, decision makers, business managers, or the community members. Okay, these are the 13 characteristics of a research. So if you carry the research, you have to check all these characteristics are there or not in your research. So if all the characteristics are available, then your research, what you are carrying, it is called as a research only. So the next one is here, objectives of research. So before you are going to do the research, these objectives, whether you are fulfilling or not, so you have to check. The purpose of research is to discover answer to questions through the application of scientific procedure. Scientific procedure is nothing but involvement of science. Okay, involvement of science is there or not, you have to check. Okay, involvement of science. So you need to conduct your research, but you have to check that whether it is following any scientific procedure or not. Okay, scientific procedure is nothing but application of or involvement of computers, involvement of some practical oriented the technology we call it as. The main aim of research is to find out the truth. Find out the truth which is hidden and which has not been discovered yet. The main aim of research is to find out the truth which is hidden and which has not been discovered yet. So, till today, the thing what you are going to discover, it should not be discovered yet. Okay, and it is hidden also. In that way, you have to do your research. We call it as one of the objective. Though each research study has its own specific purpose, we may think of research objectives as falling into a number of following broad groups. The first one is to gain familiarity with a phenomena or to achieve a new insight into it. Okay. So here to gain familiarity means what phenomenon, what actually the problem there. So you should get some familiar information and achieve new insight. The next one, to portray accurately the characteristics of a particular individual, situation, or a group. Okay. Accurately, the characteristics of a particular individual, situation, or a group is there. The next one is here to determine the frequency with which something occurs or with which it is associated with something else. Okay. The next over here to test a hypothesis of causal relationship between variables. So we have to check with the help of the hypothesis whether the causal relationships of variables are there or not. So you see, such studies are known as hypothesis testing of the research studies. Okay, this is of the objective. To the main objective of the research is to gain familiarity with the phenomena, then to portray accurately the characteristics of particular individual, situation, or a group, to determine the frequency with which something occurs, then to test a hypothesis of a causal relationship between the variables. Then next over here, the motivation in research. So motivation is one of the important factor for a research. So not only research, when you are doing any activity, the motivation plays a uh, important role. So what makes the people to undertake the research? Basically, why you are doing the research is the one of the basic question for motivation. This is a question of fundamental importance. The possible motives for doing research may be either one or more of the following. So you see the five motivations. The first one is desire to get a research degree along with its consequential benefits. So before you are going to join in any courses, you required Desire. Desire is nothing but what you are getting after completion of your degree. So you are getting some degree certificate as well as some benefits also. Then next one is here. The second one is desire to face the challenge in solving the unsolved problems. That is concerned over practical problem, initiate research. Desire to face the challenge in solving the unsolved problem. Unsolved problems, what are the unsolved problems are there? So focus on that. So immediately the problem will be solved in a easy way. That is one of the motivation. So if you do the research, then immediately the problem will be solved. Okay, then third one is desire to get intellectual joy of doing some creative work. So you feel intellectual or a joy. Okay, that desire should be create in you. Then immediately the creative work will be the outcome will be there. The next one, desire to be doing service to the society here. Okay, doing service to the society. Some people they will do research for the sake of society only. They are very busy with this activity in doing the service to the society only. Then they feel very much comfortable and they will satisfied with that one. So that is the one of the motivation in research. Then next over here, desire to get respectability. Some people they will do research for the sake of respect only. Respect is the most important factor for each and every individual. Why? Because some people they are very busy with that intellectual joy and in doing research, and as well as they will busy with getting respect also. So when you do research here, what happens? At one stage, you will be mastering yourself. Okay, once you are mastered yourself, then immediately what happens here? You will get some respect. So, however, this is not an exhaustive list of factors motivating people to undertake research studies. See, these five are not the exhaustive list, but many more factors such as directives of government, employment conditions, curiosity about new things, desire to understand casual relationship, social thinking and awakening and like may as well motivate people to perform research operations. So this is the, in addition to that, I am adding this one. So here see, this is not an exhaustive list of factors for motivating people. In addition to that here, the directions of the government also. See, based on the directions given by the government and employment condition and curiosity about new things. Some people have some curiosity in finding new things. Okay, and desire to understand casual relationship. What is the casual relationship between the different variables? Okay, that curiosity will be there, and social thinking also. What actually the society thinks about. Okay, social thinking also and awakening. So these are the motivation. So motivation is one of the important area not only in research for a individual in his life. Motivation is a base, one of the important factor. Once the candidate is motivated, automatically he never see back, and he will go forward and he will creating wonders in the future and in his life. So wonders are important for a individual personality. Okay. Then criteria of a good research. So while you are doing research, these are the some criteria. Whether the criteria is there or not in your research. If these points are there means we can say that our research is a good research. So whatever may be the types of research works and studies, one thing that is important is that they all meet on the common grounds of scientific method employed by them. One expects scientific research to study the following criteria. So these are the few criterias. Based on these criteria, we can say that research is a good research. So the purpose of research should be clearly defined and common concept will be used here. So before we are going to undertaking the research, the basic purpose of research should be clearly defined and the common concepts also will be used. Why? Because when you use common concepts, automatically it will be understand to the common man what actually the research is done. With that research, is there any advantage or with that research any benefits are there or not? So it will be clearly understandable for the common man. Then the second criteria is here, the research procedure used should be described in sufficient detail to permit another researcher to repeat this research for further advancement, keeping the continuity of what has already been attained. See here, the research procedure used should be described in sufficient details to permit another researcher to repeat the research. The next one, the procedural design of research should be carefully planned to yield results that are as objective as possible. Okay. The next one, the researcher should report with a complete frankness, flaws in procedural design and estimate their effect upon the findings here. Upon the findings. Okay, here frankness is important in the research. You have to frankly have to speak in a proper manner. Then only you are going to get the accurate answers. The analysis of data should be sufficiently adequate to reveal its significance, and the methods of analysis used should be appropriate. The validity and reliability of data should be checked carefully. So coming to the analysis part. Okay, after collecting the raw data individually, we have to arrange in a systematic manner. Okay, we have to arrange in a statements of the problem. In the tables, you have to arrange all the numbers, what you have collected, and it will be counted, and the numbers will be arranged in a orderly manner. Okay, so here sufficient adequate data is collected or not, that is important to reveal its significance. Significance is nothing but the importance of the data should be revealed, and the method of analysis used should be appropriate. The method of analysis should be appropriate. We have to use, and then we have to check that whether the validity and reliability of data, okay, carefully we collected or not. That should be checked. Okay. The next one, conclusions should be conformed to those justified by the data of research and limited to those for which the data provide an adequate basis. Okay. Then conclusion to be confined based on the analysis, based on the report, the data what we collected. According to that, finally we go for small, we need to write some conclusions. Conclusion is there, but one of the important factor here. Okay, then next over here, greater confidence in the research is warranted if the researcher is experienced, has a good reputation in research, and a person of integrity. Okay, so these characters should be built in a researcher. Then he will get a great confidence in research. Okay, in other words, we can state that the qualities of a good researcher as good research is systematic. See, good research is a systematic. When we say that research is a good, means whether it is arranged in a structured as well as they are following a proper steps. Okay, systematic characteristics of a research does not rule out creative thinking, but it certainly does reject the use the guessing and intuition in arriving at conclusion. Then good research is logical. See, good research is a logical. Logical means it should be understandable and accepted by the large group of people. Okay, it implies that this implies that research is guided by the rules of logical reasoning and the logical process of induction and deduction. See, induction as well as deduction. Some induction is nothing but we are sometimes what we have to do based on the our requirement. We will include and we will exclude also or great value in carrying out research. So induction is a process of reasoning from the part of the whole where deduction is the process of reasoning from the some premises to the conclusion. So to confirm a conclusion, so induction says that here whole in the sense we are touching each and everyone. Deduction is nothing but we are touching some premises only. Okay. So in fact, logical reasoning makes research more meaningful in the context of decision making. The next over here, good research is empirical. It implies that research is related basically to one or more aspects of real situations and deals with concurrent data that provides a basis for external validity to research result. Okay, external validity to the research results here. See here, good research is empirical. Empirical is nothing but on reality, what is happening outside. Okay, it implies that research is related basically to one or more aspects of a real situation. Okay, and it deals with concrete data that provides a basis for external validity of the result. External validity means it should be accepted by the society. Okay, when it is accepted, the concrete data is collected. Concrete data is nothing but empirical data, the raw. Okay, the true information is collected. And then next over here, good research is replicable. These characteristics allow research results to be verified by the replicating the study and thereby building a sound basis for decision. Okay, these are the criteria of good research. So you will get one question. Okay, define the criteria for good research. Good research. So you have to write all these one. Okay, then scope of the research. See, generally the scope of the research is also one of the important. It comes for 4 marks. Okay. The scope of research contains a search for understanding the physical and sometimes psychological universe. These advances into applying scientific method to refine the basic understanding and evolving new techniques to apply the facts that have been revealed and to create different techniques and materials. Some research is directed to creating new useful stuff, and some is just understanding how things can be created or even deconstructed. A lot of research is beneficial and much is meaningless except for the cheaper pleasure of understanding how things work. Engineering is application of science, okay, and much research is synonymous with the engineering. See, generally in the scope of research, what happens here? One subject is restricted to one area only. The another subject is restricted to another area only. So multidisciplinary approaches will be there in the scope of the study. So here the one of the basic example is here. Engineering is the application of science and much research is synonymous with engineering department only or engineering area only. In the same manner, the commerce and business management subject is there. In commerce and business management, they are restricted to that area only. So in this way, the scope will be there. Then functions or uses of research. So there are several functions. Okay, several functions are there. So we'll see the several functions. What are they? So research begins when we want to know. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so here research begins when we want to know something. Say, if we want to find out new thing, the research will begins. If we want to know new thing, the research will begins. But we don't know, we are doing a research. Okay, research is concerned with increasing our understanding. See, research is concerned with increasing our understanding. So research provides us with the information and knowledge needed for problem solving and making decisions. Okay, research provides us with information and knowledge needed for problem solving as well as making the decisions. There are several functions of research. So we'll see the in what are there. Exploring new facts and truth. See, exploring new facts as well as okay, new facts as well as truths. Okay, exploring new facts and truths about world and technology. Then the next one is learning the relationship that occurs between the various phenomena, market, that is internal or external. Okay, learning the relationship that occurs between the various phenomena. The next one, See the second one, learning the relationship between the various phenomena. Various problems are different problems are there, but to solve that problems, what is the relationship between the problem at the time of creating as well as at the present situation? Then creating theoretical knowledge. Okay, theoretical knowledge also it is also one of the function in the research. Then identification of market opportunities and potential risk. So not only identification of market opportunities, but we have to check the potential risk. Then solving problems and undertaking challenges for development of a company. Okay, identification of market opportunities and potential risk. Then solving problems and undertaking challenges for development of company. Okay. The research will be therefore serve the following functions. So you observe the diagram carefully. Research in management, theoretical and practical knowledge, market risks and opportunities, technological and organizational challenges, decision and implementation. Okay. Relationship between the facts and process, information and new facts about world and organization, a diagnosis of cause and effect problems, generation and analysis of potential solution. Okay, see explanation, predictions, monitoring and evaluation. So behind the list of problem solving activities or a research function is a set of very important questions about who is involved and who is in the control of each stage. So who identifies problem, who diagnoses cause, who identifies the potential solutions, who decides on action, who monitors and evaluates action and outcomes. So thus, these questions emphasize the central role of decision maker in decision making. Okay. Observation, knowledge, and concern therefore tend to influence both the solution of topics to be researched and the way that they are researched. Our own experience, okay, our own experience and availability of data and information can be allowed, then consciously and unconsciously strongly affect our choice of problems to research and the questions we address in our research. The result should be critically assessed, bearing in mind the focus and the presentation. Applied research topics and the methods are closely related to philosophy, objectives, and approaches of researchers. Okay, then research limitations are there. So these are the few limitations. The first limitation is formulation of research aims and objectives, implementation of data collection method, sample size, lack of previous studies in the research area, scope of discussion. Okay, so you see the research limitations. Once formulation of research aims and objective. So this is one of the limitation here. So first of all, we have to aim what is our research, why we are doing. We have to formulate the research as well as of the objective. And the next one is implementation of data collected method. Which method we are going to apply for data collection, whether it is a primary data or secondary data. Okay, some people they will collect the primary data only. In primary data, what happens here? Simply they will collect the first-hand information. Okay, first-hand information. They are moving from one place to another place. They are approaching the different personalities for getting the right answers to the right questions. Okay. The next one is sample size. Sample size is also one of the important factor. So sample size depends on the nature of research problem. Okay. Sample size depends on the nature of research problem. If sample size is too small, statistical test would not be able to identify significant relationship within data set. You can state that basing on your study, larger sample size could have been generated more accurately results. The importance of sample size is greater in quantitative studies compared to the qualitative study. So, for example, see at the time of sample study, the fixing the sample size. So what we have to do means here, suppose a problem is there like customer satisfaction about car company. Okay, Car company means we'll take in one city. Okay. For example, Hyderabad we are taking. In addition to that, you can take more cities also. Okay, the population sample is will be there like 400 car companies are there or 200 car companies are there. From that sample size, for example, 1000 car companies are there in the state of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So from 1500 from Telangana and 500 from Andhra Pradesh, total the population sample is 1000. Okay. Only you are focusing on two states. So you will be picking 50 from our Andhra Pradesh and 50 from Telangana. This is our sample size. And based on the sample size, you are going to apply different tools and techniques. Then you are getting some results. Then you are going to write the conclusions here. Okay. Then lack of previous studies in the research area. Sometimes here what happened, before you are going to formulate the research problem, first of all, what you have to do, the literature review is important. Literature review is nothing but what are the previous studies are there on this area. Okay, what are the previous studies are there on this area. Okay, we have to check whether what research we are going to do, any candidates or any researchers already they are done or not. If they are not done, then we are going to do that research. Okay, so because it helps the to identify the scope of work that have been done so far in the research area. Literature review findings are used as foundation for the researchers to build up to active his or her research objectives. Then go for a scope for discussion here. Okay. Then here approaches are there. There are two types of approaches to research, quantitative approach and qualitative approach. Okay, quantitative approach as well as qualitative approach. Quantitative approach is nothing but already we have discussed regarding quantity. What is quantity and quality difference? Anybody? Quality and quantity. Quality and quantity. Please go through the qualitative quantitative research. Once you have to read. Okay. So quantitative research involves generation of data in quantity form, which can be subjected to quantitative analysis in formal and rigid fashion. See, quantitative research involves here generation of data, collecting the bulk information. Bulk data will be collected, and this approach can be further subdivided into inferential, experimental, and simulation approach to the study. So, what are the inferential, experimental, and simulation approach are there? So, we'll see. Inferential, nothing but here. The aim of inferential research is to form a database to infer relationships of population. Example, survey method is there. Okay. It is done to conclude that all sample of population possess the same characteristics as that of population. Then experimental approach. Experimental approach is conducted under a controlled research environment and some variables are manipulated to observe their effect on the other variables. So some variables will be manipulated to see the effect of one variable on other variable. Okay. Then a simulation approach. Simulation approach involves construction of an artificial environment within which relevant information and data can be generated. It permits an observation of continuous and dynamic behavior of a system or its subsystem under control conditions. So this is the simulation approach. In simulation approach, what happens? On real grounds, what is happening, we are going to do in artificial manner. Image. Okay, this is the simulation approach. The next one is here, qualitative research. It involves a study of subjective assessment of attitude, behavior, and opinion, that is non-quantitative data. In this case, see, research is a function of researcher insight and impressions. It involves us of techniques such as depth interview, group interview, project techniques, etc. This approach involves study of non-quantitative data, that is characteristics or attributes, attitude, opinion, or behavior. In this case, research is a function of researcher insight and impressions. Okay, so types of research. In types of research, different types of research are there, but we'll consider only very few. So this information I collected from the C.R. Kotari book, that is a standard book. Okay, C.R. Kotari, you can note down C.R. Kotari Research Methodology. Okay, so it's a standard book, and most of times, if you go through this book, then you will get a good idea about research. Descriptive versus analytical. So descriptive research includes surveys and fact-finding inquiries of different kinds. So in descriptive research, what happens here? It includes surveys and fact-finding inquiries of different kinds. Okay, survey will be conducted and fact-finding we are going to describe. Then the major purpose of descriptive research is to description of the state of affairs as it exists at present. Okay, at present, what is the situation based on the previous findings and the survey or fact findings? We are going to see the present condition. In social science and business research, we quite often use the term ex post facto for descriptive research studies. Okay, in social science as well as business research, instead of using descriptive research, we will use the ex post facto research for descriptive research studies. The main characteristics of this method is that the researcher has no control over the variables. So researcher has no control over the variables. Why? Because the variables are the basic. So while we are describing the applying the descriptive method, so here what happens? The number of variables will be there. Okay. So based on the variables, we have sometimes no control over the variables. So he or she can only report what has happened and what is happening. Okay, most exposed factor research projects are used for describing descriptive studies in which researcher seeks to measure such items. For example, frequency of shopping, preferences of people, similar data. Okay, see, frequencies of shopping means a person frequently how many times he is visiting the shop or to giving preferences to different product, and how many people are giving importance to the that shopping mall. For example, most of the people they will go to D-Mart or any different shopping malls also here, and are similar data. Okay, then here exposed factor studies also include attempts by researcher to discover causes even why they cannot control the variables. The methods of research utilized in descriptive research are survey methods of all kinds, including comparative and correlational methods. In analytical research, on the other hand, the researcher has to use facts or information already available and analyze these to make critical evaluation of the material. Already, what facts are there? Based on the facts, okay, the facts will be used by the researcher in descriptive method. The facts are the base, and they will be analyzing these to make critical evaluation of the material. Okay, that is the analytical. See, in analytical research, on the other hand, the researcher has to use facts or information already available. See, already information is available and that will be analyzed. Analyze, what is analysis? Anybody? What is the meaning of analysis? Bharati, what is the meaning of analysis? See, in descriptive research, what we are going to do? We are going to do a survey and fact findings will be done. What is analysis? Yes.
Yes.
Ba. Analysis అంటే ఏందన్నా?
Means, how many peoples are there?
Hmm.
How much they are interested in what
Hmm.
for particular survey?
Hmm.
For example, elections.
Yes.
How much interested in particular party? How many members?
Yes. So here we are what we are doing? We are doing a detailed study about that concerned research. A detailed study will be conducted on the facts and information already available. Okay, that will be analyzed in a critical manner and critical evaluation of the material will be done. So critical evaluation means here a deep analysis, a detailed examination. Analysis is nothing but a detailed examination about the data, what which is available. Okay, about the data. Then next one is here applied versus fundamental research. So research can either be applied. Applied is nothing but action research or fundamental, that is basic or pure research. Applied research aims at finding a solution for an immediate problem facing a society or an industrial business organization. Okay, whereas fundamental research is mainly concerned with generalization and with the formulation of theory. See, applied research means here the generally a society or any organization basically basically which problem they are suffering. So immediate problem, we can say immediate, the emergency problem, that emergency problem. So in that case, the applied research will be applied. Okay, applied research will be suggested, okay, for industrial as well as business organization, whereas fundamental research is mainly concerned with generalization and within the formulation of the theory. So here gathering knowledge for knowledge's sake is termed as pure or basic research. Already knowledge is there, again we are gathering some additional knowledge. Okay, that is called as pure or basic research. Pure or basic research. Applied research is also called as, okay, applied research is also called as basic or pure research. Yes or no?
Yes.
No, no, no. See, applied research is called as action research. Okay, applied research is called as action research, but fundamental research is called as pure research. Already knowledge is there. Again, we are gathering some additional knowledge that is called as pure or basic research. Already books are available. Why we are following Google? Why we are busy with searching in Google? Already knowledge is there. Again, we are doing a research for gathering new information. Okay, that is called as fundamental research. Okay. Then action research is applied research. For immediate problem, we are going to do the applied research. The research concerning some natural phenomena or relating to a pure mathematics are examples of fundamental research. See, natural phenomena means naturally what is happening, the problem is there, natural problem is there, and pure mathematics are the basic fundamental research examples. Similarly, research studies concerning human behavior carried on with a view to make generalization about human behavior are also examples of fundamental research. But research aimed at certain conclusions, say a solution, facing a concrete solution, social or business problem is an example of applied research. Research to identify social, economic, or political trends that may affect a particular institution or the copy research. Okay. Then here, see, the marketing research or evaluation research are examples of applied research. In marketing research, what happens here? If you do marketing, if you are getting some negative result, immediately you are going to apply one more solution or one more alternative. That is called as marketing research or evaluation research also. At the time of doing any evaluation or any other work, simply you are going to apply the applied research. Okay, you will be considering the applied research. Thus, the central aim of applied research is to discover a solution for some pressing practical problem. The basic objective of applied research is discover a solution for some pressing problem. Okay, some pressing problem. I'm using the word some pressing practical problem. Why? Because pressing problem means a person is suffering from some problem, that immediate emergency problem. Okay, for that, the applied research is considered at the time of application. Then, whereas basic research is directed towards finding information, okay, finding information that has a broad base of application and thus adds to the already existing organized body of scientific knowledge. Okay, this is about the applied versus fundamental research. Then quantitative versus qualitative. Already we have seen, but once again, we'll look into that. The quantitative research is based on the measurement of quantity or amount. Okay, based on the measurement or quantity. Measurement is nothing but here what happens here. In quantitative research, what happens? We'll get a bulk data. Okay, go for a study at one area or at any one village. But what actually we required only from one village, we are collecting, we are focusing on only 50 members. But sometime what happens, most of the village people, they will come forward to give more information. At that situation, you will getting some 100 samples or 200 samples also. Then the quantitative research will be done. Okay, the quantity of data will be collected according to your convenience, according to your requirement, you are going to use. Okay, it is applicable to the phenomena that can be expressed in terms of quantity. Then qualitative research. Qualitative research, on the other hand, is concerned with quality phenomenon, that is, phenomena relating to or involving quality or kind. For instance, when we are interested in investigating the reasons for human behavior, see, to identify the human behavior, the quality will be the measuring factor. What type of quality they possess. Okay. What type of quality they possess. Based on their quality, the human behavior will be, okay, estimated. Why people think or do certain things. We quite often talk of motivational research, an important type of qualitative research. See, in a person, we are going to find out the quality. Quality in the sense, how, what is his behavior, for what sake he is behaving in that way. Okay, but that best example is motivational research. In motivational research, for example, you are doing your MCOM now. Okay, you are doing your MCOM now. But the thing is here, For your MCOM, why you are doing, Bharati, can you answer? Why you are doing your MCOM?
Yes, sir. Getting more knowledge and qualification.
Yes, getting knowledge and qualification. In addition to that, you are getting degree also. MCOM degree you are getting
Yes.
the, yes or no? MCOM degree you are getting. So see, at 3:15 the class is started. Till now only two students are there in this class. Then it shows that the motivation towards you, the seriousness about the class, and you are listening. Why? Because you want to listen the class, whole class. Why? Because you will get some information from a teacher. Why? Because it is also one of the motivation for you. So after getting your MCOM degree, you are eligible for to do PhD program, or you are eligible for any degree college lecturer post, or you are eligible for joining any organization. You are eligible to do some different activities. Okay, all these different situation, different activities. They are creating a curiosity in you. Automatically you will be motivating. So for that sake only you are doing your degrees. So this type of research aims at discovering the underlying motives and desire using in-depth interview for the purpose. Other techniques of such research are word association test, sentence completion test, story completion test, similar other projective techniques, attitude or opinion research. Okay. See, in addition to this, these are the some additional information. So this type of research aims at discovering the underlying motives, desire using in-depth interviews for the purpose. Other techniques of such research are word association test, sentence completion test, story completion test, and similar other projective techniques. Attitude or opinion research, research designed to find out how people feel or what they think about a particular subject or institution is also a qualitative research. Then in qualitative research is especially important in the behavioral sciences where the aim is to discover the underlying motives of human behavior. Okay, through such research, we can analyze the various factors which motivate people to behave in a particular manner or which make people like or dislike a particular thing. It may be stated, however, that to apply qualitative research is a practice is relatively a difficult job, and therefore, while doing such research, one should seek guidance from experimental psychologist. Okay, so this is about the qualitative and quantitative research. So if you have any doubt till here, you can ask the doubts also. Within 5 minutes, I will conclude. Then after 5 minutes, I will ask some doubts for you. It is the session is open for you. Then conceptual versus empirical research. Conceptual research is that related to some abstract idea. What is meaning of concept, Bharati? Concept అంటే ఏందన్నా? You take any subject, some concepts are there. What actually the meaning of
సార్
concept?
అది దేని గురించి పెట్టాము ఆ సబ్జెక్ట్ దేనికి రిలేటెడ్
Ah,
అని
okay.
చెప్పండి అదే.
Concept is nothing but a mental picture. Okay, mental picture means, see, for example, you are going to a new place. You are going to a new place. Immediately, what happens? Okay, one small concept will be there in your brain.
ఎస్.
Yes or no? One small concept is there in your brain. That is a mental picture will be forming. A picture is forming in your brain. Okay, that is called as concept. Okay, but what when you reach that place, okay, you will be finding the different picture. Yes or no?
ఎస్.
రియల్ గా మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఒక ప్లేస్కి వెళ్తాం. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ యు ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు వరంగల్ టు విజిట్ రామప్ప టెంపుల్. వై? బికాస్ అండ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఐడెంటిఫైడ్ బై ది యునెస్కో. ఓకే, సో నౌ ద యునెస్కో ఇట్ ఈస్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ది వండర్. It was identified by the UNESCO department. So for the first time you are going to Warangal, the near to Ramappa. Okay, from Warangal, Ramappa is 50 kilometers. So When you start traveling to Ramappa towards Warangal, immediately in your brain, what is there in Ramappa? One small mental picture will be framing.
Yes.
When you reach to the Ramappa, in reality will be looking the other thing. Yes or no? So
Yes.
the mental picture is called as a picture which is forming in your brain, that is called as concept. And empirical is quite opposite. Empirical means really what is there. See, when you are started traveling from this place, then the concept will be there in your brain. In the same manner, empirical means a real grounds. What is there? Really, you will feel. Okay, so we will see what is conceptual. Conceptual is that related to some abstract. Abstract means small idea or theory. It is generally used by the philosophers and thinkers to develop new concepts or to interpret existing ones. On the other hand, empirical research relies on experience and observation alone, often without due regard for system and theory. It is a data based research coming up with conclusions which are capable of being verified by observations or experiment. We can also call it as experimental type of research. In such a research is it is necessary to get the fact firsthand at the source. Okay, this is about the conceptual. And empirical means generally uh, we will feel really is see appropriate information we are going to gather, the proof we are going to gather in empirical research, evidence will be gathered for doing any experiments. And empirical studies is today considered to be the most powerful support possible for a given hypothesis. Okay, so this is about the conceptual versus empirical research. The next one is uh, see some other types of research also there. So these are the different types. Okay, will be consider. The other types of research are variations of some one or more of the above stated approaches based on either the purpose of this research or the time required to accomplish research, on the environment in which research is done, or on the basis of some other similar factors. From the point of view of a time, we can think of research either as one-time research or longitudinal research. Okay. In the former case, the research is confined to a single time period research. In later case, the research is carried on over several time period research. Okay, laboratory research, simulation research, depending upon the environment, and field setting research. So these are the some other type of research. In addition to that, here research can also will be understood as clinical or diagnostic research. Okay, such research follow case study method or in-depth approaches to reach the basic causal relations. Such studies usually go deep into the causes of things or events that interest us, using very small sample and very deep probing data gathering devices. The research may be exploratory or it may be formalized. The objective of exploratory research is to the development of hypotheses rather than their testing, whereas formalized research studies are those with a substantial structure and with a specific hypothesis to be tested. Okay, in addition to that, see historical research. It is also one of the important type. In historical research, what happens here? Historical sources like documents. Okay, what are the documents are there? Events, ideas of the past, including philosophy of a person, groups at any remote point of time. Research can also be classified as conclusion oriented and research oriented. While doing conclusions oriented research, a research is free to pick up a problem. See, while doing conclusion research here, a researcher should be very free to pick up the problem, redesign the inquiry as he proceeds, and is prepared to conceptualize as he wishes. Okay. So the next one is here decision oriented research is always for the decision maker. Decision oriented research is required or it is needed for a decision maker, and the researcher in this case not free to embark upon research according to his own inclination. Okay, then next one is here. Operation research is also one of the important research area. In operation research, the example of this one is a decision-oriented research. Since it is a scientific method of providing executive departments with a quantitative basis, okay, for decisions regarding operations under their control. Okay, so these are the types of research. So now I welcome you to ask the doubts. Anybody, if you have any doubts, you can ask the doubts. Kalyani, Bharati, and baby Sara. Today we have seen the importance of research, characteristics of research, motivation of research, objectives of research, types of research, and the basic concepts of research also we have seen. Anybody, మీకు ఏమైనా doubts ఉంటే అడగండి అమ్మా. We have only 5 minutes time.
Sir,
చెప్తున్నా
shall we start problematic part, sir?
ప్రాబ్లమ్ పాట.
ఆఫ్లైన్ లో ఏం అవ్వలేదు సార్ అసలు ఒక్క క్లాస్ కూడా ఇది.
సరే సరే, డోంట్ వరీ. మీకు నేను మన దగ్గర కంప్లీట్ నోట్స్ ఉంది లేండి. మీకు నేను నోట్స్ కూడా మీరు గ్రూప్ యాడ్ చేసినందుకు నేను పంపిస్తా. ఓకే, మీన్ వైల్ ఒక్కసారి ప్రాబ్లమేటిక్ పార్ట్ ఒక్కసారి చూద్దాం. ఒకసారి సిలబస్. వెయిట్ ఎ మినిట్, ఐ విల్ టేక్ యువర్ అటెండెన్స్ నౌ. ఎక్కువ స్నాప్ తీసుకుంటాను ఎందుకంటే మళ్ళీ యూనివర్సిటీకి పంపాలి. ఓకే, ఒకసారి ఇక్కడ చూడండి అన్న. యూనిట్ 1, యూనిట్ 2 అయిపోయింది. నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్లో మనం ప్రాసెస్ ఆఫ్ రీసెర్చ్ కొంచెం చూద్దాం. చూసిన తర్వాత డాటా కలెక్షన్ టెక్నిక్స్ కొంచెం బ్రీఫ్గా డిస్కస్ చేసుకొని నెక్స్ట్ మనం ఇమీడియట్ ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తామంటే కోరిలేషన్ అనాలిసిస్ అండ్ రిగ్రెషన్ అనాలిసిస్ కంప్లీట్ చేద్దాం. చేసిన తర్వాత ప్రాబబిలిటీకి వద్దాము. ఓకే, ఆఫ్టర్ కంప్లీషన్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాబిలిటీ విల్ గో ఫర్ టెస్టింగ్ ఆఫ్ హైపోథిసిస్. లేదంటే ఏం చేద్దామంటే డైరెక్ట్ యూనిట్ నెంబర్ 18 ఉంది చూసారా మీరు, యూనిట్ నెంబర్ 18 అండ్ 17. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ది కంపల్సరీ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ. అండ్ దిస్ టాపిక్స్ ఆర్ వెరీ మచ్ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ టాపిక్స్. ఈ టాపిక్స్ మనం ఫస్ట్ డిస్కస్ చేసిన తర్వాత కోరిలేషన్ రిగ్రెషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం. ఓకేనా?
ఓకే.
సో అనాలిసిస్ ఆఫ్ వేరియన్స్ టాపిక్ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఇందులో ఏంటంటే ఓన్లీ వీ హ్యావ్ 2 టాపిక్స్, దట్ ఈస్ అనోవా 1-వే క్లాసిఫికేషన్ అండ్ అనోవా 2-వే క్లాసిఫికేషన్. వీ కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ టెక్నిక్స్ ఆఫ్ అనాలిసిస్ ఆఫ్ వేరియన్స్, 1-వే క్లాసిఫికేషన్ అండ్ 2-వే క్లాసిఫికేషన్. ఒక్కసారి మీరు వెయిట్ చేయండి, నేను మీకు ఒక స్క్రీన్ మీకు ఒక స్పెసిమెన్ పంపిస్తాను. వీలైతే నేను గ్రూప్లో సెండ్ చేస్తాను, లేదంటే ఇప్పుడు షేర్ చేస్తాను. మీరు ఒక ఫోటో తీసుకోండి, నేను ఒక్కసారి చూస్తా ఉందా
సార్
లేదా ఇక్కడ. చెప్పను.
సార్ నేను గ్రూప్ లో యాడ్ లేను సార్. ఇప్పుడు కూడా నేను వేరే వాళ్ళ నుంచి కాల్లోకి యాడ్ అయ్యాను. సెకండ్ ఇయర్ ఎంకామ్ వాళ్ళకి గ్రూప్ ఉంటే యాడ్ చేయగలుగుతారా సార్? ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఏం రావట్లేదు.
అయ్యో, ఏంటంటే మీరు స్టడీ సెంటర్లో ఇన్ఫామ్ చేయండి అమ్మా. నాకే ఇప్పుడు నిన్న ఎవరో స్టూడెంట్సే నాకు యాడ్ చేశారు ఆ గ్రూప్లో. నేను కూడా అసలు యాక్చువల్గా గ్రూప్లో లేను, నాకే స్టూడెంట్స్ యాడ్ చేశారు. లేదంటే వాళ్ళ నెంబర్ నోట్ డౌన్ చేసుకోండి, వాళ్ళు మీకు గ్రూప్లో యాడ్ చేస్తారు. నోట్ డౌన్ ద నెంబర్ అడ్మిన్స్. ఒక్క నిమిషం,
1 సెకండ్ సార్, నెంబర్ నోట్ చేసుకోండి.
ఈ నెంబర్ కాల్ చేయండి. మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఉన్నారు, ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ అండ్ సెకండ్ ఇయర్ గ్రూప్ అని ఒకటి ఉంది. ఇందులో ఒక నెంబర్ తీసుకుంటాను, 78
78
159
159
39030.
39030.
వీళ్ళకు రిక్వెస్ట్ పంపండి, యాడ్ మీ ఇన్ ద ఎంకామ్ 1 ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ అండ్ సెకండ్ ఇయర్. ఇంకో నెంబర్ తీసుకోండి, నైన్ డబల్
Yes, sir.
ఎయిట్ 98858
और एक है सर, वन ए वेट वेट सर,
988 98858
58
48800.
288
488 488 00.
988 582
No. 584
584
8800.
8800. ఓకే
ఓకే.
సార్.
వీళ్ళకి ఒక్కసారి మీరు ఫోన్ చేసి అడిగి ఆ గ్రూప్లో యాడ్ కండి. ఓకేనా? మీరు యాడ్ అయితే మీకు అప్డేట్స్ వస్తుంటాయి గ్రూప్లో.
ఓకే సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఓకే సార్, ఐ విల్ ఐడి.
ఓకే, ఒక్క నిమిషం ఆగండి మీరు.
सर yesterday प्रॉब्लम सेंड किए थे ना आपको, तो
ఓకే నాన్న, మీ కోరిలేషన్ అనాలిసిస్ కదా?
यस सर.
ఓకే, మంచిగా చేసినావు. కాకపోతే మనం వేరే ప్రాబ్లం చేద్దాం, ఇంకా అప్డేటెడ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ చూద్దాము. అది కూడా ఓకే, డన్. ప్రాక్టీస్
Sir,
చేస్తున్నాడు రెగ్యులర్.
my friend saying your problem is wrong.
No. See, the method which you applied, that is కరెక్టే, కానీ the formula what you are applying, that is wrong. ఓకే, డోంట్ వరీ. నేను మీకు ఫార్ములాస్ ఇస్తాను, అన్నీ ఇస్తాను అన్న, మీరు టెన్షన్ పడకండి. మన టైం ఉందిలే ఇంకా. వెయిట్ ఏ మినిట్, ప్లీజ్ బీ ఇన్ ద క్లాస్.
Yes.
Okay, so now I will be sharing the ANOVA chapter. Please take the photos. నేను చెప్పేది తీసుకోండి అమ్మా. ఇది అనోవా చాప్టర్, అనాలిసిస్ ఆఫ్ వేరియస్, యూనిట్ నెంబర్ 18. మంచి ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ టాపిక్ ఉంటుంది. నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్లో ఇదే స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాను నేను. ఇది కాదు, నేను చెప్పింది తీసుకోండి.
ఓకే సార్.
నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ వరకు మీరు బైహాడ్ చేసుకుని ఉండాలి రెడీగా. ఓకేనా? ఇవి తీసుకోండి. ఒకటి అనోవా వన్ వే క్లాసిఫికేషన్ మోడల్ టేబుల్. నేను చెప్పినవి తీసుకొని మళ్ళీ ఒక నోట్బుక్లో రాసుకోండి. తీసుకున్నారా?
1 minute sir, 1
ఎస్
minute.
సార్.
నేను ఒక్కసారి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తా, వినండి అట్లనే. తీసుకున్నారా?
ఎస్ సార్.
ఓకే, ఒక్కసారి చూడండి అమ్మా. అనోవా టేబుల్ వన్ వే క్లాసిఫికేషన్. ఇది లాంగ్ బిట్ వచ్చే ఛాన్సెస్ 100% ఉంది. ఒకవేళ మీకు ఈ క్వశ్చన్ వచ్చినా అనోవా టూ వే రాదు, ఇది రాకపోతే అనోవా టూ వే ఖచ్చితంగా వస్తుంది. సో లిజన్ కేర్ఫుల్లీ, సీ
Yes sir.
హియర్. ఓకే, లిజన్ కేర్ఫుల్లీ. సోర్సెస్ ఆఫ్ వేరియేషన్, సమ్ ఆఫ్ స్క్వేర్స్, డిగ్రీస్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రీడమ్, mean sum of squares or mean squares, variance ratio of f. Okay, so see all of you, between samples, within samples. ఓకే, ఒకసారి మీరు అందరూ అనండి అమ్మా. బిట్వీన్ శాంపిల్స్, విత్ ఇన్ శాంపిల్స్, బిట్వీన్ శాంపిల్స్, విత్ ఇన్ శాంపిల్స్, బిట్వీన్ శాంపిల్స్, విత్ ఇన్ శాంపిల్స్. మీరు ఒక 5-10 టైమ్స్ అంటే మీరు ఎప్పటికి గుర్తుంటుంది మీకు. బిట్వీన్ శాంపిల్స్, విత్ ఇన్ శాంపిల్స్, బిట్వీన్ శాంపిల్స్, విత్ ఇన్ శాంపిల్స్. ఓకే, ఇంకా చెప్పాలంటే ఆల్ఫాబెట్ లో లెటర్ బి ఫస్ట్ వస్తుంది, లెటర్ డబ్ల్యూ సెకండ్ వస్తుంది, కాబట్టి బి అనేది ఈజీగా ఐడెంటిఫై చేస్తాం మనము. బిట్వీన్ శాంపిల్స్, విత్ ఇన్ శాంపిల్స్. ద నెక్స్ట్, ఇన్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ స్క్వేర్స్ కాలమ్ 2, ఎస్ఎస్సి, ఎస్ఎస్ఈ, ఎస్ఎస్టి. SSC, SSE, SST. Sum of squares. Okay. Sum of squares between samples. Sum of square within samples. Total sum of squares. Then degrees of freedom. V1, V2, then K. V1 is equals to C minus 1. V2 is equals to N minus C. And K is equals to N minus 1. The next one is here. See this one. MSC and MSE. MSC as well as MSE. Okay, mean sum of squares between samples, mean sum of square within samples. ఇక్కడ ఎస్ఎస్సి ఉంది కదా, ఎస్ఎస్సి ఒక వాల్యూ వస్తుంది. విత్ దట్ వాల్యూ, ఆ వాల్యూని మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, డివైడ్ చేస్తాం. C-1 తోటి డివైడ్ చేస్తాం. ఎస్ఎస్సి డివైడెడ్ బై C-1. SSE divided by N minus C. After getting these value and these value, simply we are going to do MSC by MSE. This is called F value. And this value is called as calculated value, CV. Calculated value, we done calculation. Okay, we done the calculation. That value is called as CV, calculated value, F value. ఓకే, ఏం డౌట్ ఉందా? సివిఎఫ్ వాల్యూ.
Sir, MSC means mean square.
మీన్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ స్క్వేర్స్ అంటాం, లేదా మీన్ స్క్వేర్స్ బిట్వీన్ శాంపిల్స్ అంటాం.
Okay, sir.
ఓకే, నేను ఎంఎస్ఈ మీన్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ స్క్వేర్స్ విత్ ఇన్ శాంపిల్స్. ఈ టేబుల్ మాత్రం మీరు బయట చేసుకోండి యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ గా. సోర్స్ ఆఫ్ వేరియేషన్స్, సమ్ ఆఫ్ స్క్వేర్స్, డిగ్రీస్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రీడమ్, మీన్ స్క్వేర్స్, వేరియన్స్ రేషియో ఆఫ్ ఎఫ్. Between samples, within samples, between samples, within samples, between samples, within sample. SSC, V1 is equals to C minus 1. MSC is equals to SSC divided by C minus 1. Then you will be getting MSC value. Then within samples, SSE, V2 is equals to N minus C. MSC is equals to SSE divided by N minus C. Then finally we are going to calculate the F value. ఓకేనా, ఇది బైహార్ట్ చేయండి, ఇది ఒకటి. దెన్ నెక్స్ట్ వన్, ఇవి ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉన్నాయమ్మా, ఇక్కడ సాల్వ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ కూడా ఉన్నాయి. ఈ ప్రాబ్లం మనం నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్లో చేద్దాం. The next one, note down this one also, take the photo. Source of variation, sum of squares, degrees of freedom, mean sum of squares, variance, ratio of F or ratio of F. Between samples, between rows, residual or error, or between columns అంటాం. బిట్వీన్ కాలమ్స్ అన్నా పర్లేదు, రోస్ అన్నా పర్లేదు, బిట్వీన్ శాంపిల్స్ అన్నా పర్లేదు. ఓకేనా, ఈ టేబుల్ కూడా మీరు బైహార్ట్ చేసుకోండి. ఒక్కసారి చూడండి. బిట్వీన్ శాంపిల్స్ ఆర్ బిట్వీన్ కాలమ్స్, బిట్వీన్ రోస్, రెసిడ్యుయల్ ఆర్ ఎర్రర్, సమ్ ఆఫ్ source of variation, sum of squares, degrees of freedom, mean sum of squares, ratio of F. These are the common points in one-way classification and two-way classification. ఇక్కడ అడిషనల్ వచ్చే టాపిక్ ఏంటంటే రెసిడ్యుయల్ ఆర్ ఎర్రర్ అనేది ఒకటి అడిషనల్ వస్తుంది. ఓకే, బిట్వీన్ శాంపిల్స్ ఆర్ బిట్వీన్ కాలమ్స్, ఎస్ఎస్సి V1 is equals to C minus 1, అగైన్ V1 is equals to R minus 1. అక్కడ మనకు V1 V2 వచ్చింది ఇక్కడ వన్ వే క్లాసిఫికేషన్లో. బట్ హియర్ we are getting V1 for the first time, V1 again for the second time, and V2 is only for first time. See carefully, SSC, SSR, SSE. V1 is equals to C minus 1. Again V1 is equals to R minus 1. V2 is equals to C minus 1 into R minus 1. Then K is equals to N minus 1. Then mean sum of square, MSC is equals to SSC divided by C minus 1. That is column 2 divided by column 3. Okay, then MSR, that is SSR divided by R minus 1. Then MSE is equals to SSC by C minus 1 into R minus 1. Okay, అక్కడ ఏం చేస్తాం, calculated value we are going to do only one time, but in this problem, the second method problem, the calculated value will be done twice. Okay, we are going to find out the calculated value, that is F for the first time and F for the second time. ఇక్కడ చూడండి అమ్మా, ఇగో F for the first time and F for the second time. Two calculated values ఉంటాయి, twice చేయాలి. 2 times MSC divided by MSC, first calculated value, that is F, again MSR divided by MSE. This is the second calculated value. So these two calculated values compare with the table values are critical values. Then finally we are going to write the conclusion. Okay. నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ లో మాత్రం ఇది మనము స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాము. ఈ ఫోటో తీసుకున్నారా మీరు అందరూ?
Yes, sir.
ఓకే. సో అనోవా 1 వే అండ్ అనోవా 2 వే స్పెసిమెన్స్ మాత్రం ఒక నోట్బుక్లో రాసుకోండి అమ్మా. రాసుకొని జాగ్రత్తగా మీరు ఒకసారి బయాడ్ చేయండి. బయాడ్ చేస్తే నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్లో మనం ఒక ప్రాబ్లం చేద్దాం. ఓకే, ఈ ప్రాబ్లం ఫస్ట్ ప్రాబ్లం చూసారా, ఇగో ఇక్కడ స్కూల్స్ ఏబిసిడి అనేది ఇది చేద్దాము. మీకు ప్రాబ్లం మంచిగా అర్థమవుతుంది. ఈ టేబుల్ మీకు అడుగుతా నేను నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్లో, నెక్స్ట్ సాటర్డే మన టైం టేబుల్ ప్రకారం క్లాస్ ఉంటుంది. అప్పుడు మీకు అడుగుతా నేను, అడిగినప్పుడు మాత్రం మీరు ఆన్సర్ చేయాలి. మీరు ఆన్సర్ చేస్తే ప్రాబ్లం చేసినప్పుడు మీకు ఈజీగా అర్థమవుతుంది. ఓకేనా? రైట్. సో ఫర్ టుడే ఐ విల్ వైండింగ్ అప్ ద టుడేస్ క్లాస్. సో విల్ మీట్ ఇన్ ద నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్. Shall I leave?
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much.